Hi Year 2 and welcome to this week's maths lesson. Firstly, a big thumbs up to everyone still sending in their work. You really are making us incredibly proud. Today's maths lesson is all about shape and a particular property of shapes. But before I share our learning objective today, there's some Chilli Challenges I'd like you to have a go at. So, let's go.
On the next screen, you're going to see a number of 2D shapes with their shape names. Your Chilli Challenges are to name and match the 2D shapes, to describe them remembering the words corner or vertex, corners or vertices, and sides. Chilli Challenge 3 is a true or false challenge. True or false, these are all triangles. Read the shape names together first. So we've got right angled triangle, square, heptagon, pentagon, hexagon, triangle, rectangle, and octagon. Off you go, then come back for a check. Hopefully you were able to look at those shapes carefully. Remember, one of the things that we have to do in Year 2 is recognise shapes in different orientations, which means when they're turned around in different ways. Hopefully that didn't make it too tricky for you today. And you were able to match up all of those shapes with the correct names and perhaps even label them with the correct properties as well. Have a good look. If you weren't sure, that's okay. Just have a little look at the information that you've got now as a check. So our learning objective today is to identify a vertical line of symmetry in shapes and images. This shape on the left is symmetrical because if we put a mirror down the middle, each side would be equal. This one that I've circled is not symmetrical. We call that asymmetric. Today we're looking at one vertical line of symmetry. This shape has more than one line of symmetry, and you might spot more, but we're only thinking carefully about one line. So looking at our pentagon and our triangle here, if we look at the pentagon and draw our line down the middle, we can see that both sides are then equal. They're a mirror image of each other, so that is symmetrical. If we do the same with the triangle, the two sides are not equal, so that it is not symmetrical, it is asymmetric. You can see it here too. So if we take our pentagon, we draw a line carefully down the middle. So we've got our ruler here and we draw a line down the middle. Just like this. Then we can fold it in half and we can't see any of the shapes sticking out. The two sides are equal, so we know it is symmetrical. We're lucky here we've got a mirror that we can check with. If you have a mirror, that'd be really helpful. So our steps for success for identifying symmetrical shapes, objects and pictures are: so take an object that you think if you drew a line down the middle that it would be the same equal on both sides, like this button. Then grab your mirror. Pop it exactly down the middle, down what you think is a line of symmetry. You should see the same image reflected in the mirror. So you'll be shown what the mirror image looks like. When you take the mirror away, you should still see that image if the item is symmetrical.
Now that we've looked at how to identify and show a line of symmetry on one shape, can you look at the shapes on the next page, which are a few of the shapes that we identified in the beginning? See if you can see a line of symmetry on those. There may be more than one, and if you can identify that, then fab, but you don't have to. Just one is okay. Brilliant. Is there an odd one out though, or are they all symmetrical? I look forward to seeing you back here for a check.
Time for a check, and don't forget that some of the shapes might have more than one line of symmetry, like I've shown you with this rectangle. But yes, all those shapes were regular, so they had at least one line of symmetry. Okay, time for your turn. So, remembering what we said about symmetry, have a look at these two pictures. They're both by Monet, but can you spot any symmetry? Come back for a check. Were you able to spot the symmetry? Have a look at the picture at the top. If I draw a line down the middle and imagine that I'm putting my mirror there, would both sides be the same? And I think they would, so I think that picture at the top is symmetrical. Even the shadows look like they're symmetrical. But if we look at the one at the bottom and draw a line down the middle there, would we have the same on both sides? No, hopefully you spotted that it's not symmetrical or asymmetric. Right, let's have a look at what our next challenge is.
Time for my turn. I'm going to have a look and see if I can spot symmetry in the shapes I see around my house. Come with me and then you can have a go. Oh, my cats have been little monkeys and leaving things lying around on the living room floor. Wonder if this is symmetrical. What do you think? Imagine that mirror down the middle. If you've got a mirror, this will be even easier. But I think if I drew a line down the middle, yep, my cat's toy would be symmetrical. Let's see what else we can find. Oh, look! In here, we've got square tiles on the floor. They are definitely symmetrical. Okay, let's have another little look around. I've spotted. What shape is can you see on my kitchen cupboard? Have a look. I think it's a rectangle. If I could pick that up and fold it in half, I think the two halves would be equal. So I think symmetrical. Okay, let's have a look up here. Let's have a sneaky peek in the cupboard. I've got something. Okay, again, if I drew that line down the middle, would it be symmetrical? I think so too. Right, time for your turn.
Go and be a symmetry detective around your house and see what you can spot. Then come back and I'll show you what else I found. These are some more of the places where I saw symmetry, from light switches and rugs to teddy bears and panels indoors. I wonder what you found. Now time for your turn again. So on our Year 2 grid, if you have a look at the maths section, there's a patterns and symmetry challenge. And just like we've looked around our houses for symmetry, your challenge is to now go for a walk or go into your garden and have a look and see what symmetry and what patterns you can see in nature. Could you sort some of the things you find and make lists or drawings and show whether they are symmetrical or asymmetric, not symmetrical? Okay, so that's one of the challenges you might like to do. Here's a few ideas to get you started. How would you sort these? Are they symmetrical or asymmetrical? Another sorting activity you might like to do is on the computer. So if you search for Top Marks Symmetry, there are a couple of games that you might like to play. The Symmetry sorting game allows you to pick pictures, shapes or letters and decide if they are symmetrical or not symmetrical. You have to look carefully at the picture to see where the line of symmetry is that it's showing you. Okay, so there we go. We've got some symmetrical ones. Would that be the same both sides? No way. What about that one? No. That one? Yeah, I think that must be symmetrical. Okay, and like we said, you can then go back to the menu and choose letters or pictures as well. If you click back again and then back again, it will take you back to the original menu where there are lots of other games involving symmetry. One of them is a bit of a creative game, Symmetry Painting, where you can choose to draw whatever you would like to, and it will show you what it would look like with the symmetrical pattern on the other side. So it will create a symmetrical picture for you. Just like this, where you can draw whatever you would like to on one side, and it comes up on the other side as if it were seen in a mirror. So as if there's a mirror in the middle, creating a symmetrical picture. Let's have a go at Chilli Challenge 2. You are going to identify symmetrical shapes, patterns and pictures within art. You should have got Chilli Challenge 2 via parent mail. And finally, Chilli Challenge 3, to create your own symmetrical picture using natural items or items found around your house, or by drawing or painting a picture. You might want to use ink like Marvin in our new chapter book Masterpiece, or use natural objects like Andrew Goldsworthy. Or you might like to do this. Okay, so decide what sort of picture you're going to create, and then you need to imagine that you've got the line of symmetry down the middle. So whatever you do on one side, it needs to be a mirror image on the other side. You could even use a mirror to help you, like I do. So draw your first shape, then look down that line of symmetry. Remember that it has to be the same on the other side. Use that mirror to check that you're going to get the next circle, I've chosen a circle, in the right place. Just like that. Okay, so I know I've got to do my other circle right next to the line of symmetry on the other side. Keep going using the different shapes that you want to use. I've picked up 3D shape items from around my house, knowing that they have 2D faces on them, like a cylinder with 2 circular faces at each end. So keep going, use that mirror to check if you need to. You might want to just create a pattern to show symmetry using these shapes, or you might like to create something like a butterfly. I know some of you awesome pupils already have, or something like I'm doing, just going to be some sort of funny, silly monster you'll see in the end. Keep checking to make sure it's symmetrical and that you're doing the same on both sides. Again, it should be that mirror image. And if you decide to add colour or other shapes, perhaps dipped in paint like I have, make sure that you're doing the same, a mirror image on both sides. You might want to go one step further and add pattern. And again, you've got to remember where your pattern should be. Okay, it has to be a copy like this. Just like I've used red on the outside of my square on the one side, it has to be on the opposite side on the other square. But don't forget, the colour and patterns are to make the challenge just that little bit extra spicy. You don't have to use them, and if sticking with blocks of colour is what you want to do, then that's super. As always, we'd love to see your super symmetry work and your creations at our Year 2 email address, so please send them in so we can carry on being awesomely proud of you. Hope you've enjoyed today. Keep spotting symmetry. See you soon.